Hey guys, how's it going? I thought I'd share some of my brief thoughts after seeing Doug Ernest's video with Comicstorian and his responses to the whole junk on Twitter with people calling other folks Nazis, even though most of those are a lot of the newer creators that are there at Marvel, which is weird. I mean, when you think about it, nobody's given this much, trash to DC. They have a couple writers that'll say something, or in the book will get SJW-ish, but it's pretty contained. You don't have all these controversies with Bleeding Cool saying this stuff for DC. I mean, just that alone should show that Marvel has a problem. Like they have some kinks that they really need to work out, some things they need to figure out. But yeah, Comicstorian was saying, guys, we need to stop calling folks Nazis. We need to stop calling other people SJWs. And, kind of like preaching to everybody. But the thing is, his mindset is to ignore it. Which, to a certain degree, sometimes I can see, sometimes if there's people just spouting out foolishness and it's not really doing anything, or people just trying to troll, of course you would ignore it. But this goes way past trolling. When you have people trying to dox other people's channels, when you have people going to find out that someone's following Comicstorian, or follows them on Twitter, or subscribe to them, or they see that they get along fine, they go out of their way to ask their boss why they are hired, or see some way how they can have them fired. There's just a recent one, this Irish artist, I can't remember his name, but Comics Explained, Diversity in Comics, did a video about him saying how he's like, hey, I wouldn't go judging a whole bunch of people by the stupid things they say. Because if you want to talk about that, people saying stupid things on Twitter, I've got a long list. It's pretty much how he stated that. And the standard same people, SJW writers, are the people that attacked him. So they attacked their own coworker. That just shows how if you're not in the group, this whole Mean Girls mentality. And I feel like Comicstorian doesn't understand there's bigger things going on. And if someone doesn't say anything, it's going to get worse. It's like a lot of these people, they don't want to say anything, but then they're not going to disagree with you. So it's this whole stick your head in the sand mentality. Just, ignore it and it'll go away. And that's not the case. When you have comic book shops closing up and sales in Marvel have dropped over the last few years, and I'm pretty sure the same thing happened at DC with the whole New 52. After a while, their sales started to dip and, all this. But they fixed it. And you didn't hear about the stuff at New 52, writers calling folks out for saying, oh, you don't like this book, so you're a Nazi. No, they tried to do other things. They tried to do DCU Now and a couple other things. And they started to say, okay, this isn't working. There's a couple stories that did pretty well, but the rest of them weren't selling. Superman was really struggling. And Batman was just wrecking it up in sales. But you never had this type of stuff. Now, Comicstorian's like, well, I'll state it. But here's the thing. He's got, almost 2 million subscribers now? I haven't looked. I know it's in the couple millions. And he's afraid to say anything because he's stated before, I think on his channel, The Weekly Pool, that Marvel doesn't come to him anymore. So the few times where he called out forced diversity, which is weird because they've stated these same sentiments. They didn't go on and make a channel dedicated to it or multiple videos about every stupid thing that somebody's done. But he said it in a non-committal, not really trying to make a stance tone, type of way. When he said, hey, forced diversity, I'm for diversity, but forced diversity in stories that aren't good, like Riri Williams, and he listed them off. And Comics Explained was like, well, I love Secret Empire. And then he applauded Nick Spencer for calling out the trolls on Twitter, air quotes, quote, end quote, trolls, and saying that guys like diversity in comics. And I don't know, maybe I feel like Comics Explained may be ill-informed, and he just sees, maybe he's following these guys like Dan Slott and whatnot, and Nick Spencer. I don't know. And he just sees from the outside, and it seems that these people that are attacking folks and calling SJWs are out of their minds. Or the fact that Comicstorian said, man, if people from the outside saw this, they would be afraid to get in comics. No, trust me. That's not the issue. if they would have seen what a lot of these creators are doing, like I've talked to people that really aren't into comics, they casual, they'll go pick up a comic here and there, pick up their 2 comics every month. But I've showed them some of the things going on and what they've done to covers for characters like Blink, for the Exiles, and they're like, what's wrong with these people? Now, if you want to say they're scaring off, these creators are scaring them off from ever wanting to get into this. Let's say somebody wants to go and read an X-Men comic, and they see this. And, like, they see the movies, and they go, or maybe somebody showed them the 90s X-Men cartoon, or X-Men Evolution, whatnot. And then they see this, and like, what is this? Or they go and pick up an Iron Man comic, and they see Riri Williams being like a psycho, saying, I'm taking over the country. That would definitely turn them off from buying a comic. But, yeah, those are some of my thoughts about the situation. Apparently, Ethan Van Sciver is going to do a live stream with Comicstorian this Friday, I think at 9 o'clock. I'm pretty psyched. I don't know about y'all, but I'm really excited to see how this goes, because this could go 2 ways. This could go 2 ways. I mean, think about it. You have something like this, and Ethan Van Sciver's in the industry. Now, whatever Comics Explained says, Ethan Van Sciver can just like, no, that's not how it is. And Benny can't say anything. I mean, what is he going to say? You're wrong? I mean, you work in the industry for like the past 25, almost 30 years now. Well, no, maybe not 30 years. Well, let's say 25 years, right? I think Cyberfrog was in the mid-90s. 25, 27 years. You must not know what you're talking about. Now, Ethan's going to like, hey, this is how it is. I've been attacked. I've seen other creators attacked for this. Some things that people call SJWs, attacking them, some of that stuff wasn't right, but they weren't necessarily wrong. I see so many writers trying to ruin my career and other people's careers and not hire them. And I see so many comic book stores not selling when you have other creators say, if you don't like this, don't buy my book. When they're working with a team of people trying to get this book out. He says, Ethan can state that. And what's Benny going to say? So maybe this might be the thing that Benny snapped and realized, hey, maybe I need to look into this. Maybe not go and make videos about it, because it seems like after Doug Ernest ripped him to shreds, he doesn't really know this type of topic very well. But I'm not trying to trash in Comicstorian. He said something, and it really feels that he doesn't mean any malice. He's just ill-informed about what's going on. I feel like if somebody took him aside, like maybe after this live stream with Ethan explained it to him, he might be like, I was wrong about a lot of stuff. Now, I would be interested to see how that affects his relation with Comics Explained. I know they're friends, and you're not going to agree with everything a friend says. But sometimes your friends might say a couple things. You're like, hey, maybe you got a point. If you hear it from other people, you don't listen to them. But if you hear it from your friends, you're more inclined to hear that another side of the story or whatnot. So let me know what y'all guys think. Like, subscribe, share, please. Let's have a discussion about this. Tell me what you think in the comments. And I'll see you later.